Hey everyone, Jason here from Kinda Cool, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. We are going to do some gameplay videos, and I'm going to try to show you something a little bit interesting today. I'm going to show you Contra, one life, no death, complete run of the game. So I'll kind of walk you through some of this here and kind of show you where I maybe just about trip up a couple times and where I feel like I do a pretty good job. But just for starters here, I'm recording this straight from my PVM. This is my Sony 20M2U. And I'm playing it on an NES top loader that's been RGB modded, and this is actually through S-Video, so it got the S-Video mod as well. And yeah, so let's get into the gameplay here. I know this isn't perfect. This is something I'm going to work on over time, guys. It's I know that this isn't perfectly aligned, and there's some focus issues that kind of coming in. I'm in the game room with my son. He's playing some. You can actually see his wrestling game in the reflection in the background. But I wanted to try this out, so I knew it wasn't going to be perfect. I'm going to work on this over time, and we're gonna get this down and maybe improve it each time we do it, and see how it goes. And if I like this, I got a few of these up my sleeve. These one life complete type things. I might do a few of these here in the future if you guys like these. If you want to see more of this. But anyways, we're here to talk about Contra today. We're already breezing through the first level here, and I get a little tripped up here at the end here. I kind of go for the big run at the end to take out the door, and the bullets there weren't in my favor, so I had to kind of pull back out and do some evasive maneuvers, but no big deal. This isn't a speed run. Now I'm going to try to run this through quickly. Not necessarily a speed run, but a quick run, an efficient run. So we'll see if we shave off some of the time here that way, but you're still going to be in for a bit of a slog here. There's going to be a little bit of time here as we run through the whole game. This is the first base here. And the good thing about Contra is it's pretty predictable in most of its patterns. There's a couple random parts, but for the most part, you can learn the game. And I've been playing this game since '87. Well, I guess when it came out, I got it for my birthday, I think, in '87. So it's one of those things I didn't actually one life it until I became an adult. It's one of those things where you hear rumors that maybe somebody could beat a game in one life. And a game like Contra was hard when I was a kid, and I didn't think there was anybody out there that could ever beat it in one life. But it's one of those things that kind of becomes I guess kind of a life mission to do. And as I became an adult, as a retro gamer, I actually was able to figure this one out from a one life complete standpoint. And we're running through base one here, doing a pretty good job. There's really no trip ups here. Do a pretty good job of most of this, and see me most of the time here. I'm looking for this, trying to find the beam pattern here. It's not as much about just pushing the button fast as you can, which a lot of people think that it is in Contra, but you really got to find a rhythm to your bullets here. And you'll see it's they come out a little bit staggered, right? I actually make a misstep here and leave this gun pod open, and it kind of puts me in a little bit of a scramble here. So I kind of get out of that, no big deal. But for a second there, I thought maybe I might take a hit, but pulled it off. I got to admit, I was a little rusty doing this Contra run, and I actually took a couple takes. I think I had one take that failed due to the camera popping off the tripod, and another one I just straight up died. But got that out of the way, and then got my one life legs back under me. And this is one of my favorite levels in the game. This is the waterfall stage. I really like playing this, and this is an enjoyable level. And you can really kind of try to take some time off it if you are trying to kind of speed run in a way, or at least make a personal best. This is one of the ones you can clear up a lot of time. And what a lot of people don't realize is there's a lot of when you're playing Contra well, there's a lot of parts where you don't even have to shoot, and you get the B barrier here, right here, and you just kind of start running, and there really is not a lot to do other than try to just jump up and clear the waterfall. Now here, it gets into a little bit of a scramble, and you'll see me kind of pull out of it here. I've got a little bit of gunplay going on right here. I make a little bit of a risky move on that gun turret, but no big deal. Pull it out. As long as you keep the bullets flying, you'll be okay. But I probably should have crouched there when I didn't, but I shaved off half a second by standing up and didn't pay for it in that one, so not too bad. I'm going to continue to descend the waterfall here and fight the level boss here for the waterfall. This pretty cool looking creature that looks like straight out of the Aliens movie. And the trick here for this one is just take out each arm at a time. I usually like to hide on the right side of the screen and kind of work my way over. And I don't watch a lot of speedruns and things like that for these games because I try to kind of develop my own techniques. It's kind of the same way as when I'm trying to play through an adventure game. I don't look up a lot of the techniques online or tips unless I really get stuck. And it's kind of the same way even when I can one life a game, I try to kind of figure out my own way to one life it and improve it. Doesn't mean that I won't watch one from time to time, but I try not to take a whole lot from that. So this is kind of largely my strategy. And I do the same thing when I do Castlevanias too. I kind of have my own strategy with my own weapons. I don't just use the holy water the entire time and things like that, even though I can do that. But I try to kind of do it a little bit differently. And maybe I'll do a Castlevania one life run here in the future and show you guys what I mean here. But and here you can see me since we're doing this with the spread, I'm trying to find the beam. Like we said here, I'm trying to find the kind of the succession of bullets kind of coming out exactly the way you want it to, so you can get the most efficient hits on the targets here. And I'm doing a pretty good job for the most part. Like, I'm shaking a little bit of rust off here. I think that I do a pretty good job on this base right here. And there's a, if you're wondering why I'm running into the fence, there's like a frame perfect move that you can do to where if you hit the frame just exactly right, you'll hear this audible sound like you hit the fence, but you won't actually hit the fence. So it's kind of, you kind of try to practice up. If you want to do frame perfect stuff, you kind of practice up on this fence here. It's kind of why I do that. And I want to say this last level boss, I get into a little bit of a hiccup here. We'll take a look at it, but these are all pretty predictable and pretty easy. There's really not much going on. And when you maintain, obviously the goal here when you're doing a one life with the spread is to maintain the spread. And you don't want to pick up any other weapons because obviously that can throw you off. It's just like Castlevania in that respect, that sometimes getting the wrong weapon is akin to dying, right? So, you know, and I can one life Contra with the standard rifle too, but it's a little more difficult. So, you know, again, I haven't played Contra in a while, so to get this right, I wanted to get this on video, and we're gonna do the spread today. So, pretty efficient takedown of those gun turrets. Now, I don't have a very good run right here. And in fact, I probably have my closest run to death on this level. You can see I let a couple more of these like bubble projectiles get out than I want to, and I kind of have to scramble a bit here to get out from underneath them, but I pull it off, and I actually don't have a very efficient takedown of these Optimus Prime looking heads. That's what I used to call them as a kid, Optimus Prime heads. I don't know what they really are, but don't do a very good job here. I kind of recover on this last one because I break them on the split, so I actually, you can see here, I pop them before they're together, which is kind of a somewhat advanced maneuver there on that one. But we made it out alive, and that's the goal. So on to the snowfields. And the snowfields can be tricky. There's a lot of things happening here that can cause you problems. You see the kind of camera drop out of focus, trying to focus on my son's wrestling program in the top right corner of the game he's playing back there. And you're going to see a pretty good pop shot from one of these sniper guys here coming up, I think, here in about 3 seconds. Let's see if it's coming through. Yep. Oh, no. Next wave. Next one. Next ledge. I remember and you can see there's a little bit of a red hue or tint to the bullets, which thank goodness there is, because there it goes. I'm going to duck this one. See, they're always going to take these pop shots at you from behind, and as the game advances, that's really one of the things they really try to throw at you to really try to get you to stumble. And I kind of blow this right here. I don't get the clear level defeat icon thing here, but that's okay. I actually pull it off no problem. So it would have made it a lot easier had I pulled that little symbol down and cleared the whole screen right there. But you know what? It's all right. Now here comes the snowplows. Now the snowplows can be beat, especially easy with the spread gun. I'm going to find the beam here pretty quick and lock in and knock this thing out. But you can beat them with even the standard rifle with no R, with no rapid. You just gotta finger pound those buttons pretty good. So it is possible though to take a snowplow out without having any kind of weapons. So don't let anybody ever tell you can't. I think this one goes pretty well too. I can take this one down pretty efficiently. There we go. We're really getting through the more difficult portions of this level here now. There's a couple areas where these gun turrets will kind of pop up kind of suddenly, but again, if you've played the game as many times as I have, you know where they're at, and you're just making sure you don't make any execution mistakes. Oh, it can be a little tough, a little tricky right there. This boss with the spread can doesn't present much of a challenge usually. He's got a couple spots that he spawns in. He's going to spawn in my favorite one right here. You can see you shut him down pretty quickly. Just a couple jumps. Straight up in the air. Shooting straight up. And he's history. Energy zone. Okay, now this one gets interesting because there's a couple spots here that can be tricky. And I take them kind of slowly in this one, and I'll kind of walk you through kind of one of the more kind of difficult areas of the stage. Yeah, a couple guys get a couple lucky shots at me too, but I'm able to avoid those here too, which you're going to see more people coming up from behind you, like I said, as you progress through the game. Here's one right here. No problem. Made it through okay. Now this is, you can take these pretty quickly, and you know, if you were to do a speed run, you'd probably want to go ahead and break through these in one move, but I go ahead and take a pause here at the second level because I want to make sure I make this okay. And this is another interesting one right here. I take my time on this one too, but I'll kind of walk you through kind of what's going on here. But you want to pull this B because you want this B shield to run through the good majority of the level, but you want to make sure you get it And I think I'm gonna have like almost a frame perfect delivery here when I pick this up. And you're watching for these two lasers to go in sync together. And you can see like the second I grab it, I walk through a beam. So had that been a frame off, I would have died right there. So that was a pretty good connection right there on that one. Pleased with how that one turned out. And now you're just running. I mean, you don't even really have to shoot at this point. You're just kind of plowing through these guys, and it kind of runs out at the end there, but it's enough to get you all the way to the end of the level and all the way to the level boss. And this guy's kind of this, he throws these frisbees along the ground, and I'm trying to find the beam right here, and I find it kind of at the end, and I give him a pretty good pounding there at the front end. So he's going to be red pretty quick, and there he is. He's already red, so now he's already cleared. But that guy can be tricky sometimes. He can get you out of your comfort zone there, and you can lose a life there on that guy. So you've got to be really careful with him. This one, not too bad, but there's a couple areas I'll tell you about here that can be tricky on this one. And again, here, the biggest dilemma that you have on this stage is making sure you don't pick up the wrong thing. They're going to throw you a lot of weapons that aren't as good as the spread. So if you're trying to beat it on one life with just the spread, then you want to go ahead and stand pat with what you're at, with what you have, and avoid those weapon bubbles if you can. I think I might accidentally break one on this level, I think. We'll check it out and see. These spike walls are just... You're kind of holding the... You can see I'm not advancing the frame here because I'm holding those guys behind me on that ledge behind me, so they can't take pop shots on me if they're on the second tier. So when you see me do that, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to drop down into this minecart because it's the only way you can access the bee shield right here. And again, we're going to run through a good portion of the level with this bee shield. And you're going to ride on the cart right here, clearing the way with the spread cannon as you go. And now again, you wouldn't be able to make this jump if you weren't on the cart. I think I hit this one. This is a machine gun. You don't want that, so thankfully it falls into the void. No big deal. And I get to take I always take the top level. So top level is usually the path of least resistance on this one. But you got to be careful that you don't pick up the wrong weapon while you traverse that path. This one's pretty easy, pretty simple pattern. But it can be a little intimidating if you're not used to it. Especially when they expose the wall right there at the very end, but keep going. Now this is a famous area for people coming out. You see me kind of clear the way by throwing a couple shots backwards every now and then to make sure that they don't try to sneak up on me, because it's kind of the big difficulty here is getting through this one without them coming up behind you. And this one, with this weapon, you just walk right up to the front door, diagonally shoot, and hammer away, and you'll clear it before it even gets its first shots launched. So not terribly difficult with this particular weapon. You can still do it with the standard weapon, and especially with the R, but again, you gotta have pretty fast and furious fingers to pull that off. Here we are in the alien's lair. We're gonna grab this bee shield. You usually don't need it. And the way I placed that in here, I had to take the more difficult path, which is going down low, but no problems there. And here we are, we're just gonna clear out and try to destroy the alien's head as quickly as I can. I think I get a pretty good run right here too, so yeah, didn't take much time at all. But your bee shields are about to be out, so you gotta watch out, because these things, once these little projectiles get going, they can really come after you. So I'm gonna take this really cautiously here. I could have shaved off 10 or 15 seconds by playing this a little bit more haphazardly, but I decided to go ahead and begin. In the spirit of not wanting to do this again, I went pretty safe here and cleared them out. But I get a pretty good run, and I get a pretty good pace going here, and I get to find the beam, and finding the beam here with the succession of the bullets, really, you can see it just makes them just almost disappear in some instances. I have a little bit of trouble right here, but again, take it pretty easy, because I know that two of the more difficult jumps in the game are coming up right here. Probably the most difficult jumps in the game are happening here, and then again here. And sometimes that'll wreck your one life run right there on those little bumps, so you gotta really focus on those. Now the pattern on these creatures can be random, so it's one of those things where you've really got to be watching out closely. The ones coming from the top, you've got to keep a corner of your eye going to make sure that those guys aren't descending down upon you, and you've got to adjust accordingly quickly if they do. Sometimes you'll get more than one doing it at the same time. I think I get one situation right here, but I'm able to pull out of it pretty easily. Now I'm moving in for the kill here. Now I've cleared the first pod, and now I've cleared the second pod, and now it's just blasting the heart, and I actually give it a pretty good run here. So pretty fast fingers clears the way for that one, and there you go. That's a one life, no death, complete run of Contra.
16.
I'll let you see the ending credits here.
That's a lot.
You can see the wrestling game going in the corner. I'm gonna work this out as I go. I'm working with some of my my buddies here. I've been watching some Wriggle videos. Wriggle's really good at capturing CRT footage, and I've been watching some Dad Racer and some Poor Man's Retro Game Room. Some of my buddies from the Retro Collective Trade Group, they've gotten pretty dialed in at capturing CRT footage. So I'm going to try to see if I can improve on this over time. But I wanted to get this out here as an experiment. Just to do it, just to do something a little different, just to try it out. And it was fun. So far, so good. And I know you guys know that I'm into EverDrives and things like that, but when I do these types of videos and runs, I'm going to make sure I do it on original hardware with the original cartridge. So at the end, I think I'm going to go ahead and pop it up and show you guys that it was indeed, you know, being played on an actual cartridge. Not that I have any like cheating type stuff loaded into my EverDrives, but I guess theoretically you could do that if you wanted to. But that's usually not my bag. It's not my thing. It's not what I use the EverDrive for. But I guess somebody that was being nefarious out there could do something, but not this time. So, and I can actually do 2 runs without death on Contra, and I think I've made it really close to 3 and died at kind of think the last of the aliens lair. Died for my first time on the 3rd go around of the game. But I think if I really wanted to put the time in, I could flip the game 3 times on 1 life, but it just kind of gets a little bit monotonous there. So. Alright, so here we are. We circle back to the beginning here. Now it's kind of cool because you have the spread cannon, which is kind of crazy because you shouldn't have the spread cannon this early in the game, but you know, that's the benefit of flipping the game. Here we go. I gotta get some lighting here, but you'll see.
Turn on that light for a second, Nate.
I'm gonna turn on the light here just so you can see. I was in CRT capture mode. There we go. Original hardware, original Contra cartridge. So thanks for watching, guys.